Let's get right into it. Your brain is weird, like really weird. It's this slimy 3-pound meatball in your skull that thinks it is in charge of everything. But here is the creepy part. It doesn't just react to the world. It is constantly predicting the future, especially when it thinks something is going to kill you. Yep, your brain runs its own horror movie in the background, complete with jump scares, bad special effects, and spoilers about your death. So let ES talk about the bizarre ways your brain secretly tries to predict your final curtain call. Number 1. Creepy gut feelings. Picture this. You're walking home late at night. The street is empty, but suddenly your stomach tightens. No noise, no obvious threat, just this creepy gut feeling that something's off. That's not random paranoia. That's your brain's primitive prediction software screaming at you. Here's the science. Your nervous system is basically your personal surveillance team. It picks up on microscopic details you're not even aware of. A rustle in the bushes, a shadow that doesn't match, the subtle rhythm of footsteps behind you. Your conscious brain is still humming along to your playlist, but your subconscious has already screamed, "Danger!" and slammed the panic button. It's called interoception. Your body sensing its own internal signals. If your heart rate spikes or you pick up a hint of adrenaline, your brain interprets it as a warning. And since evolution trained us to pay attention to bad vibes, your body goes full red alert even when there's no obvious threat. Basically, it's like having a smoke detector that goes off every time you make toast. Annoying? Yes. Helpful? Also yes, because it might save your life one day. Just don't confuse it with indigestion. Punchline. Your gut isn't psychic. It's just an over-caffeinated security guard who screams at shadows. Number 2. Death flashes in dreams. You ever wake up from a dream where you're falling off a skyscraper? Or maybe you were drowning, choking, or being chased by a giant rabbit with knives for teeth. That's not just your imagination being weird for fun. It's your brain's survival simulator running the world's worst training program. Dreams aren't just random nonsense. Psychologists believe many of them are rehearsal scenarios. Your amygdala, the brain's fear center, basically hijacks dreamland to put you in life or death simulations. It's like, hey, what if you fell off a cliff? How would you react? Let's practice. Super helpful, right? Except no, because you always wake up right before impact. Scientists think that's the brain teaching you avoidance instead of survival. In other words, the lesson is, don't fall off cliffs, stupid. Which you already knew. Thanks. The most common death dreams are falling, drowning, and being chased. These line up with our most primal survival threats. Falling. Gravity hates you. Drowning. Water hates you. Being chased. Predators hate you. Basically, your subconscious is keeping the caveman software up to date, even though you'll never outrun a saber-toothed tiger in your office cubicle. Punchline. Congratulations, you're paying rent to a brain that makes you practice dying in your sleep. Number 3. Phantom phone buzz. Okay, modern problem time. You're minding your business, and suddenly, bzzzt, your phone vibrates in your pocket. You grab it. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. No text, no notification, no secret admirer. Just your brain pranking you. This is called phantom vibration syndrome, and it happens because your nervous system has adapted to the modern world in the dumbest possible way. The brain is wired to anticipate signals. It's a predictive machine. And because you're so used to your phone buzzing, your nervous system now randomly guesses it's happening again when it's not. Back in the day, this instinct was useful. If you misheard a rustle, it was safer to assume predator than wind. Today, your brain has downgraded that life-saving glitch into better check your phone in case it's a TikTok. Studies show up to 90% of people experience phantom vibrations. It's basically your survival instinct downgraded into a clingy, codependent relationship with your smartphone. Punchline. Your ancestors avoided being eaten by wolves, and you avoid missing memes. Good job, evolution. Number 4. Premonition jumps. Have you ever tripped on absolutely nothing? You're walking across a totally flat floor, feeling like a competent adult, and then, bam, your legs go rogue and suddenly you're doing an accidental breakdance routine. Congratulations, you've just been betrayed by your brain's prediction software. Here is what is happening. Your brain doesn't just monitor your movements in real time. It's constantly predicting where your body should be next. This is thanks to your cerebellum, that little wrinkly blob at the back of your head that's basically your personal autopilot. It calculates your steps like it's running Google Maps for your legs. But when there is even the tiniest mismatch, maybe your foot hits the ground slightly earlier than expected, or the floor is more slippery than usual, the system freaks out. The brain does a panicked course correction, and suddenly you look like a malfunctioning robot trying to invent new dance moves. Evolution thought this was smart. The idea is that correcting faster than waiting for proof of danger keeps you alive. But in modern life, it mostly just makes you look like you're possessed by invisible tripwires. Punchline. Basically, your brain is an overzealous GPS constantly screaming, recalculating, while you faceplant. Number 5. Creepy déjà vu. So, you're sitting in a random diner, eating fries, and suddenly you think, wait, haven't I lived this exact moment before? Welcome to déjà vu, aka your brain's creepy party trick. Déjà vu happens when your memory prediction system fires twice, once in real time and once on a slight delay. Your temporal lobe gets confused and goes, oh, this is familiar, even though it's literally brand new. Imagine accidentally hitting the replay button on your brain's Spotify playlist. Scientists think déjà vu might be the brain's way of checking for danger. By comparing the present moment to a catalogue of past experiences, it's scanning for potential threats. The glitch happens when the brain sends the "this feels familiar" alert without a real match. So instead of warning you about tigers, it just makes you feel like you've already eaten those exact fries before. There's also a darker theory. Déjà vu might be a miniature seizure, a tiny electrical storm in your brain's memory circuits. Which means technically every time you feel déjà vu, your brain just blue-screened. Fun. Punchline. Déjà vu isn't you seeing the future. It is your brain buffering like a cursed YouTube video. Number 6. The sixth sense, but lamer. Forget ghosts. You already have a sixth sense, and it's called predictive vision. Sexy, right? Not really. Here's the deal. You don't actually see with your eyes. Your eyes just collect light, like cheap camera lenses. The real work happens in your brain, which stitches those signals into a moving, colorful picture. And because light takes time and nerves transmit slowly, you're technically always seeing the past, like a fraction of a second ago. To compensate, your brain cheats. It constantly predicts what it thinks you're about to see and fills in the blanks. That's why you see faces in random blobs, monsters in your laundry pile, or ghosts in the corner of your eye at 3 a.m. It is not the supernatural. It is your brain running Photoshop on reality with the "make it scarier" filter turned on. This trick was super useful when we were cavemen. If something rustled in the bushes, it was safer to imagine a lion than to assume it was just the wind. Better paranoid than eaten. Unfortunately, in the modern world, this means your dirty clothes can easily turn into The Ring for 2 terrifying seconds. Punchline, your sixth sense isn't atomistical at all. It is just your brain cosplaying as a horror movie director. Number 7. Jump scares and heart leaps. You're sipping your coffee, minding your own business, when suddenly, bam, a balloon pops, a car backfires, or your cat knocks something off the shelf like it's auditioning for Poltergeist. Your entire body launches into orbit. Your heart skips a beat, your lungs gasp like you've never breathed before, and your coffee ends up decorating your shirt. That's the startle reflex, and it's basically your brain's panic button on steroids. The fun part? It kicks in before you even know what the sound was. Your auditory system sends a direct line to your brainstem, bypassing all logic, so you can scream first and ask questions later. Evolution loved this, because if you waited to analyze whether the rustle in the bushes was a lion or just your idiot friend, you were already lunch. The reflex is so fast that it hijacks your entire nervous system. Your muscles tighten, your heartbeat spikes, and your pupils dilate like you just saw your crush. Except instead of romance, it's sheer terror. Even when you realize there's no danger, your body keeps buzzing like a phone on low battery. Fun fact: studies show that people with higher anxiety jump harder at these scares. So if you're the kind of person who flinches when toast pops out of the toaster, congratulations, you're wired to survive in the most embarrassing way possible. Punchline: evolution gave you fight or flight, but really, it's just scream and spill your drink. Number 8. Creepy sense of impending doom. This one is genuinely spooky. Doctors actually use the phrase sense of impending doom in medicine. Patients will sometimes say, "I feel like I'm about to die," and within minutes they're having a heart attack, a stroke, or a severe allergic reaction. Yeah, your brain somehow knows before you do. The science behind it? Your brain is a master at reading tiny signals from your body, like changes in blood pressure, oxygen levels, or irregular heart rhythms. These changes happen before your conscious mind notices anything wrong, but your subconscious? Oh, it notices, and it sends up the scariest possible flare. This is it, we're done for. This isn't just a dramatic story either. ER doctors actually take this symptom seriously. If a patient walks in panicked and says, "I think I'm about to die," they treat it like a red siren. Because weirdly enough, the brain isn't always wrong. Of course, sometimes anxiety plays the same trick, and your impending doom feeling is just your nervous system being overdramatic. But when it's real, it's like your body has its own spoiler alert for death. Unfortunately, it only works for medical emergencies, not, avoiding that text you're about to regret sending. Punchline: your brain won't warn you about bad life choices, but it will give you a jump scare before your heart explodes. Number 9. Near-miss euphoria. You're driving on the highway when some maniac swerves into your lane. You slam the brakes, your life flashes before your eyes, and for a second you're convinced you're toast. But then you survive. Nothing happened. You didn't crash. And suddenly you feel high, like euphoric. That's your body's twisted little reward system. When you almost die but don't, your brain dumps a cocktail of adrenaline, dopamine, and endorphins into your bloodstream. It's like your nervous system is saying, "Congrats on not dying, here's some free drugs." This is why thrill seekers chase dangerous hobbies. Skydiving, bungee jumping, horror movies, roller coasters, all of them are just controlled near-death experiences designed to milk that same chemical jackpot. Your brain tricks itself into thinking, "We could have died, but we didn't," and the result is basically an adrenaline-fueled victory party. Of course, this is also why some people laugh hysterically after almost getting hit by a car, or why you can't stop shaking and smiling after narrowly avoiding disaster. It is not that you are happy, it is that your brain is throwing a rave in your bloodstream for surviving something that technically didn't even happen. Punchline: you didn't dodge death, you just won the world's dumbest lottery. Congrats, you're still alive. Number 10. The final trick. Here is the part that really messes with your head. Your brain doesn't just predict little dangers like tripping, choking, or getting jump-scared by a pigeon. Nope. It's quietly predicting your death, constantly. Every breath you take, every beat of your heart, your brain is monitoring, calculating, and making little guesses about how much time you've got left. It's like having an accountant in your skull, constantly balancing the books of how dead are we today. Most of the time it's background noise. Your brain keeps things chill. Hey, heart's beating, lungs are working, blood pressure's fine, we're good. But sometimes, and this is the terrifying part, it catches a signal. Something's off. A heartbeat too slow, a drop in oxygen, a weird rhythm in your blood flow. That's when you get the sudden rush of dread, the gut punch panic, the sense of something's wrong without knowing why. It's not mystical, it's predictive coding. Your brain is running a probability game on survival, and sometimes it screams at you when the math doesn't look good. The creepy part is that we usually write it off as just anxiety, but history is filled with stories of people who knew something was about to happen. A heart attack, a stroke, even accidents. And minutes later, they were right. In a way, your brain is both your bodyguard and your worst hype man. It warns you about danger, but it also makes you paranoid. It's like living with a roommate who constantly whispers, "We might die today," while you're just trying to eat cereal. So yeah, your brain is your own personal Final Destination movie director, writing death scenes you'll probably never see, but always running rehearsals. Comforting, huh? Punchline: turns out the only real spoiler in life is living inside your own head. Closing wrap-up. So let's recap the horror show we just walked through. Your gut feelings are basically a paranoid smoke alarm that screams at shadows. Your dreams, just free survival training nobody asked for. Phantom phone buzzes prove your brain downgraded life-saving instincts into TikTok notifications. Déjà vu is your memory's cursed buffering wheel. Your sixth sense. It's not ghosts. It's your brain cosplaying as a budget horror director. Jump scares? Yeah. Evolution turned you into a coffee spilling machine. That sense of doom. Sometimes it's anxiety. Sometimes it's your actual death preview trailer. And near-miss euphoria. That's your brain throwing you a rave for not dying. Finally, the big one. Your brain is constantly predicting your death, even when you're not thinking about it. Which is comforting, or horrifying, or both. At the end of the day, your brain isn't a genius oracle.
It's more like a paranoid parent, constantly convinced you're about to fall off the couch.
It's more like a paranoid parent, constantly convinced you're about to fall off the couch. But hey, if it keeps you alive, maybe a little melodrama is worth it. That's all for today. I'll be making more videos like this, so subscribe if you don't want to miss them.